Okay, good evening everybody. We're live in the Pits and Motor Chaos. This is your host Dave. I got on line with Ryan, Konno, nostalgia funny car driver. What's the car called?
Kavandian, Lemon, and Konno.
And it's a replica of a funny car, right?
Actually, the paint scheme is really familiar with my partner's car that they ran back in the 70s. So we went off that that paint scheme. The body is a different one, but we went off the same paint design.
Okay. So what year did you start driving this car?
We actually, Tom and I actually teamed up back in 2003, and we ran alcohol funny car for several years. And, we only went to a few events, whatever we could afford and whatever was close enough. Then after we kicked the rods out in Pomona of our one and only engine, we kind of sat back and said, let's take a look at this nostalgia deal. It looks like it'd be fun. And so we ended up converting the car, so same chassis, but we converted the car over to run nostalgia fuel. And that was back right around 2012, I believe.
Okay.
That's when we started that.
So what originally got you into drag racing?
It was just a fascination of fast cars. I remember going back to Hawaii for my grandparents' 50th anniversary. And, my friend had a Camaro that it was just a street car, but, he was just putting around the streets and he saw his friend and he gunned it. And I just got hooked on that sensation of speed. And, then I started getting a little bit more and more into cars. I didn't know how to work on them. I just ran through high school. But the needle really stuck in my arm. It was October 1991. It was right after I graduated high school. And I went to Pomona for the finals. And that was it. As soon as I started watching the top fuel cars and funny cars run, I was like, man, I gotta do that. I gotta figure out a way to do that. And it's been going nonstop ever since.
So what was the first car you drag raced in?
It was just a street car. I had a 69 Camaro that I, did a little bit to it. Never really competed with it. I just kind of started building it to drive on the street. But the only other prior drag racing that I have experience with is just getting my license in a Supercomp dragster. I got my top alcohol dragster license back in 2002, and then 2 years after that, I got my license in the alcohol funny car. So I've only competed in top alcohol funny car and nostalgia funny car.
Now, when did you get your nitro funny car license?
After we built it, I just had to make 3 representative runs. Actually 2, and that was right around 2012, 2013.
Okay, so for 2017, how'd you do for 2017 with the car?
Well, we hardly ran the car. That was an issue because all of last year I was working on Stephen Whiteley's full mod, so I was traveling a lot. So we didn't get to run the car a lot because I was gone so much from home. But we did go to the March meet and we qualified, and we went to the Hot Rod reunion and we also qualified and won a round. So, it was pretty tough for me not being able to run the car. I had to earn money, so I was working on that full mod. But I was gone pretty much from January to October, and I was home for maybe about a month during that time, so didn't really get a chance to run the car.
Okay, so you ran the Hot Rod reunion where we lost that one, the fuel alter driver we lost over there.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, very very unfortunate accident.
I know, yeah, unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. We love doing this, and, sometimes it does take our friends. So, it is part of it, and it always goes through all of our minds. It doesn't haunt me, but it's always in the back of my mind.
So for the Nostalgia Funny Car now, how many crew members do you have right now?
We have 6 regular crew guys, and this year it was pretty tough because we hardly ran the car, so whenever the guys get together, it's almost like we got to relearn everything. The guys that we have on the car, they all have experience, but it's quite a bit different when you don't run the car a lot. So a lot of times it's just getting back into the routine of how things go. And working on different teams over my career, it's once you start running the car a lot and you get used to working with the guys, then everything really flows like clockwork. But that really takes a lot of time to get out there and run the car. And unfortunately, we didn't get to do that last year. But this year, everything's changed for the better for me. A lot of different things happened for me over the off season. I got a new job, so now that I'm here, going to be based out of Southern California still. I have a steady job that will allow me to run the car several more times a year, and hopefully we will be able to do that. I'm working every moment I can to earn money. As you probably saw with all the Rolls-Royce stuff I was doing last month.
Yeah.
Just getting every hour I could to do that, to make some money.
Man, running a Nitro Funny Car is not cheap.
No, and I'm not independently wealthy. My parents, they're not millionaires. They support me big time. But they're not millionaires. Tom Lemon, he's a working class guy. He's worked all his life, and Cookie Kazanjian is one of our financial partners, and he helps us out a lot. And every little bit's going to help. Just like everybody on the team, every little bit helps. The more people you can get familiar around the car or just around the car, it helps. Helps a lot. As long as people start working in sync, and then that's when experience comes into play. Also, when people know what they're doing, it makes everything easier on everyone else.
So what do you and your crew members, what do you do for promotion for your car? Do you guys promote besides like Facebook stuff like that? What do you?
Well, we do car shows when there are some around. Unfortunately, our team manager John Egan passed away last year, and he did a lot of media and a lot of PR for us. So I'm doing my best to kind of pick the slack up on that. He did, make the contacts. We do car shows, we do displays. When Steve Gibbs asked us to, put the car on display at Pomona, it was absolutely, we'll go ahead and do that. So I am working on that, as well as working on trying to earn some money to survive and keep the car running. And whenever if I'm not working, I'm working on the car.
Right.
So it's just nonstop, but that's pretty much just what I do.
So you were born in California?
No, I was born in Hawaii. Moved up here with my parents and my brother when I was 8 years old. So that was 36 years ago already, and just grew up around the San Gabriel Valley. And when I finally did start with professional fuel car teams, I traveled around a lot. And I moved to Indianapolis when I started working for Don Perdome. So I lived in Indianapolis for 3 3 years.
That's cool. You work for Don Perdone?
The snake.
Yep, worked for the Snake. I was there for 3 years, and after a while, I wasn't progressing as far as learning more and more about running these cars, and I got frustrated. So I lost 60 pounds over 1 year, so I could drive a car. So I have a better shot of driving a car.
So,
And after that, I moved back to California, and through a mutual friend, we Tom Lemon and I worked out a deal to where I would drive his car, and we will pool our money together and run as much as we could.
okay, let me ask you, Ryan.
And my wife's got a question for you, Ryan.
Okay.
Let me ask you, are you Hawaiian and Japanese?
Fourth generation Japanese, born in Hawaii.
Fourth generation Japanese. Dave's third generation.
Pardon?
Dave is third generation
I'm
Japanese.
I'm third generation Japanese.
Okay. But you tell people that as well as I'm Hawaiian.
They all think Dave is Hawaiian
Yeah,
too.
a lot of people ask me if I'm Hawaiian a lot of times.
Yep, and you can tell when we start talking to each other, right? Start to come out.
Well, you might as well be Hawaiian since your family's from California.
Yeah, they're gonna think you're stupid. You talk like that.
Yeah. They expect you to talk Oriental.
So now are you gonna try to run a funny car chaos this year?
Yeah, we're gonna try and test before the March meet. And then we're gonna run the March meet. And I heard at Bakersfield they're supposed to have the two Saturday Night Nitros. That's what I thought I heard. And so we're gonna run those. And I'd really like to make it up to Boise for the Nightfire Nationals, because my car, Tom, and Cookie, his partner, they won that race back in 71 and 72. So I'd really like to go up there. If I can dig up the money somehow, sell a kitty or whatever, just get up there to run. That's one of the goals, and maybe
Yes, kids?
maybe a Seattle race, possibly.
That's nice.
So do you have any kids, Ryan?
No good.
No wife?
Pretty much my life has been kind of structured to work on and drive this race car. I put a lot of things aside personally to be able to do this. Sometimes I work 3-4 jobs at a time just to keep some money coming in. But now it should be a lot better, because I just started working for Brad Anderson at the start of the year. So I'm working in his shop, and he's going to be great about letting me take some time off to go run the car. And him and my car, Tom, they've known each other for ever, and so it's going to work out to be a good deal. Now it's just come back to
So now, back in the day, what drivers were inspirational to you?
Well, of course, over the time I've worked and followed drag racing, there's a lot of different drivers that I admire for many different things. Guys like John Force for his drive. One of the guys I've crewed on, Ron Capps, is just a sheer ability to drive a car. Guys like Jim Dunn for the longevity. He's been at this forever, since the beginning. Guys like Don Garlitz and Dale Armstrong for their innovation. So, just the list goes on and on. I admire so many guys for so many different qualities. and I've been pretty fortunate to have been able to work with some of them.
Yeah. So what was it like to get behind the wheel for the first time on a Nitro Funny Car?
Actually, I was wondering how it would be because I was used to running the alcohol funny car. So I was kind of wondering, how is it going to be, in the car and not, sidestepping the clutch. And when I actually did step on the throttle, when it was like, wow, I don't miss revving the thing up because the way the nitro engine RPMs up so quick that I didn't even think twice about it after. I still enjoy running the alcohol funny car, but I really love running the nostalgia fuel car because not only do I just jump in and drive it, I get to learn how to run it. I still build the door blocks. I help put the car together, install parts in the car, and that's pretty much my girlfriend that sits in that garage. I'm always working on it whenever I get a chance. Spend all my money on her, and it's pretty much everything centered around that with my life.
So do you got a nickname for your girlfriend?
Well, I call her Tom's third daughter because Tom has two daughters, and that's his third daughter, the one that sleeps in the garage. I don't think I'd call her Money Pit because you're gonna spend your money somewhere, and I'm glad I get to spend it following my dream. And there's a lot of people that they do have a nice house, they've got nice cars, they got a savings account. But I wasn't going to be one of those guys, when I get older, saying, "Wow, I should have tried this, or should have did this." To me, there was no question about it. I was going to do it, and everything I've done over my life, after I got hooked on watching these cars and wanting to work on them, everything's been centered around that. So it was never a question of if, it was always when.
Right. So now, what's the fastest pass you've made with this car?
We went 575 and 277, but I don't consider that our best run. I consider that somewhat of a fluke because we only did it once. But other than that, it's been 581, 247. Once I start running 575 on a consistent basis or quicker, then I'll call that our best run. But, to me, your best run you should be able to back it up within a certain percent and not just go off of luck.
Now, throughout your drag racing career, have you won any trophies?
As a crew member, yeah. In fact, my very first win as a crew member was on my birthday back in 1998 when I was working for Jim Dunn. It was Columbus, Ohio, and it was one of those hot, miserable, muggy days, and I was doing the bottom end and just sweating and trying not to pass out kind of deal. And next here we go, win another round, and that was a perfect example of, like I said, Jim Dunn's longevity. He's been doing this forever. He knows how to get down tricky tracks, and that was a really tricky track to where a lot of guys were overpowering the tracks. But with all that knowledge and wisdom, he was able to figure out just how much it'll take to get down the track. And from then on, it was several different teams that I worked with. 2 or 3 years ago, I worked with Norm Grimes and Joey Severance. We won the alcohol dragster championship. That was back in 2007. 2016 and 2015. So to be a part of that was really nice.
Currently for the nostalgia car, you got no sponsors?
No, we have a few sponsors. One of the long-standing sponsors, of course, is Cookie Kazanjian. He's been there from the start. The hats, they have a lot of hat locations out here in the San Diego Valley area and Southern California. They've been with us since we started this nostalgia deal. The Phoenix Decorating has been with us. They're the float company that I work for. And Harvey Hyde, he does a lot of radio and sportscasting for a lot of football teams, and he's a former coach. So he helps us out. So yeah, we're always like everybody else. We're always on the hunt for different sponsors and different help.
All right. So now when you get ready for a weekend of drag racing, what goes into preparation for you?
For me, usually I've gone through, double-checked everything on the fuel system, double-checked everything with the ignition. I'll go through and, make sure we got enough parts and pieces to make it through the weekend. If not, enough, close to enough, or whatever we can get by with. Prepare the short block. Get the truck and trailer ready. My dad and Tom, they'll help, make sure the truck's ready, and because I'll usually drive the rig. So it's pretty much just going from front to back, going through the trailer, making sure we got enough supplies. Pretty much, nothing different than when I was working with all the different teams that I worked with. Just, go front to back, make sure everything's ready and as ready as can be. Just trying to make everything as prepared as possible because everything and anything can happen.
No, I know. There's a lot more work going into nitro. Like between rounds, you got to do a lot more work than compared to the alcohol funny car.
Yeah, usually the maintenance is a little bit more with the alcohol car. You usually don't put the rods and pistons out every run. But yeah, with the nitro car, we get the rack out of the car every run. So there is more work, but mainly as long as you have all your parts and pieces prepped, it makes things go a lot smoother. And I'm always striving for that. Always trying to get things to go smoother, things to flow a lot better. But it's pretty tough when the funds are limited and we don't run as much because, like I mentioned before, everyone's going to kind of get used to working around each other. But that's going to change this year. Because I'm going to, like I said, I'll figure out a way to get out there more.
Now, what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
Bakersfield, of course, because that's our primary track. There's not very many tracks here in Southern California, which is pretty unfortunate because it's the birthplace of drag racing. So it's, but it is what it is because of property value. I like Vegas because I did get both my licenses there. Alcohol dragster and alcohol funny car. Indy's pretty cool because of the history. I've never run our car there, but I've worked on many cars there and been there quite a few times. But mainly because of the history of the track, and that's the best of the best show up there for the U.S. Nationals. So That's why when you can do well there, you know you've done something. But just like Bakersfield for the marching or the reunion, you got some tough players that come out.
Yeah. Now you prefer a quarter mile track or eighth mile track?
Oh, definitely quarter mile. I've never actually run on an 8 mile track. But I definitely like the quarter mile because that's how it originated. That's what it started off as. And we're gonna be nostalgic with keep it where it was. Keep it how it was.
Yeah. Now throughout your drag racing career, have you ever had any accidents?
No, I've brushed the wall once with the alcohol cart, shook real bad, and I stayed in it a little bit too long. It brushed the wall on that, so it scraped up the body, but other than maybe, backfiring a blower or kicking rods out, and, I haven't run the car long enough. I mean, enough, period, because, things will happen. It just depends on when. But, I've been pretty fortunate that, I haven't been injured and no one else has been injured, because, when I was running a car or going down the track.
Right.
So I consider myself very fortunate on that.
Okay, you ready for the fun questions now?
Yeah.
What's your favorite music?
There's your first question.
Favorite music? I don't have any really favorite type of music. I pretty much listen to everything, but if maybe like classic rock or 80s music. If I'm driving in the rig or something like that, I usually got my satellite radio on, the comedy channel. That way it makes the time go by a lot quicker. I would say typically, if I am listening to music, it'd be, classic rock, or if I go to the gym, I'll listen to heavy metal.
That's cool. So you like AC/DC and all that stuff?
Oh yeah.
Rush?
Motley Crue, Rush.
Yep. Oh yeah, definitely all those things.
Black Sabbath?
Black Sabbath.
Leo?
Yep. I'll listen to all that.
Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Slayer.
Now, do you listen to heavy metal, like Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica, stuff like that?
Yeah, I do, especially when I go to the gym, which hasn't been that often lately. But yeah, when I do go to the gym, I listen to that kind of music.
Get you pumped up, huh?
Oh yeah.
Now, if someone gave you $150 million and Ryan, can you build me a new drag race track? Where would you build the track, and what kind of features would you put into the track?
If I had that kind of money and was given the go-ahead to build a track, I would do the best that I could to bring something back to the Los Angeles County area. It'd be tough, but like everyone knows, money talks. So if you have the right amount of money and the right channels, I would definitely bring something back to the Southern California area. One of the features I would build would be a sound wall system to where it contains some of the noise. So, because that's a big factor in why a lot of drag strips close, is people don't like the noise. But, maybe put it close to an airport or something, somewhere noisy, or an industrial park.
Now, did the fires in California affect you at all?
No, we didn't have any issues on my way.
Thank God. Now, outside of drag racing, do you have any hobbies, Ryan?
No. Besides going to the gym, because the reason why I go to the gym is to not only stay healthy, but I want to be as sharp as I can when I get in that seat. And, you know, when I'm strapped into that car, I want to be in the best physical shape I can. It's just like, you know, every other thing that I put on the car. I don't want to put something that's not right. I want to put something the best possible parts and pieces I could. And to me, that includes the driver. So, you know, other than that, no, I don't have any hobbies. Too busy working on the car to really do anything. And, you know, anybody that knows me could testify that, you know, when I do something, if I choose to do something, you know, I go all out with it. So that's really one of the reasons why I don't have any hobbies, because if I did something, then to me, it would be kind of like taken away from, you know, either working on the car or running the car. So, yeah, I don't have any other hobbies.
Okay. Now, if you were able to do any time traveling and go back in time, would you do anything differently?
No. I would maybe just to go visit and maybe not to change anything. I would definitely go back to the late 60s, early 70s, you know, when you know, there were hundreds of funny cars all over the country.
Right.
Just to witness that in person, because, you know, I wasn't even born at the time, but that was when there were, you know, tracks all over the place. You know, a bunch of people had cars. They all had, you know, cool designs and different personalities.
Yeah.
It wasn't just who had the most money back then. It was, you know, who worked the hardest, who thought of the best ideas, who came up with the most innovative designs and parts and pieces. It wasn't just about paying someone to drive the car. It was, yeah, it was a different time. I'm not saying it's just bad or good. It was just a different time. But I would definitely go back to witness it. But as far as over my lifetime, I would change anything? No.
Okay.
No, I would definitely, you know, I wouldn't want to change it, because I am who I am because of what's happened to me and what's happened around me and what's happened to the people that are around me. And, you know, it's, like I said, I'm so grateful that I have the parents that I do. You know, they supported me all my life, and they still support me to this day, you know, always helping me. My dad works in the car and helps on the car. You know, being able to drive Tom's car. I mean, I remember meeting him when I was 18 years old, and he had his auto repair shop, and my very first job was working at an auto parts store down the street. And I remember seeing the alcohol funny car body out in the yard, you know, out in the repair yard. And, you know, he was really busy, but I just asked, I go, hey, is that an alcohol or funny car? You know, alcohol or fuel? He goes, no, it's alcohol. And, you know, he probably doesn't know, but that was back in 1992. So, yeah, I've been very fortunate. You know, of course, everybody goes through good and bad. That's just part of life. But, you know, it's how you come out of it that really, and how you deal with it that makes who you are.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't change what happened to me in my life. You know, of course, you'd always want certain things to, you know, end up different. But, you know, things happen, and that's why we are where we are.
Right. Now, if you ever have time for vacation during your busy schedule, what do you have a favorite vacation spot?
Working in the garage on the race car.
Good.
No, the closest I got to vacation, you know, especially Christmas and New Year's time, was Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. You know, I got to spend time with my family. You know, of course, we got to go eat, right? That's just part of it. And but yeah, the day after Christmas, I was head first into getting ready with the floats. So, you know, I was worn out, you know, just worn out from working so many hours straight every day. But, you know, every time I got tired, I kept thinking, yeah, this is more parts I can buy. You know, this is extra stuff I can buy, more fuel we can buy, stuff like that. So, I don't know. If anything, it just keeps me even more motivated when I am earning money.
Now you were saying Christmas you had to go eat with the family. So what's your favorite food?
Usually mom's cooking or Hawaiian food.
What kind of Hawaiian food?
Hawaiian dish.
Oh, lau, kalua pig. I don't know. I like to mix lomi salmon and poi.
Now, what's your favorite beverage?
Coffee.
Now on a race day, you drink a lot of coffee?
Yeah, not more than usual. I drink coffee pretty much all day, so, you know, as long as I got the coffee pot going, then, you know, we'll be drinking coffee.
No water?
But, I like sparkling water, the flavored sparkling water, so I'll drink that.
Now, on a race day, do you eat any food, or you wait till after the race is done?
Oh, no, I'll eat all day. Yeah, I mean, in the morning, it's a big, huge breakfast. You know, during the day, I have all kind of healthy snacks with me, so that way I can keep my energy up. And then I'll usually have salad and stuff at night, because I don't want to get back to how big I was, you know, probably, 20 years ago. So I'm pretty cautious with what I eat, but, yeah, race day, I'll eat. I don't have a problem eating.
Now, if you weren't drag racing, what do you think you'd be doing with your life right now?
Going nuts. No, I don't know. I mean, I like cars. I mean, before I actually started working on fuel cars and alcohol cars, you know, I would, you know, take side jobs and, you know, do all kind of repair work on different cars and stuff. So I'd probably be doing that. But, you know, the industry's changed so much with the automotive industry. You know, everything's really specialized. So I would think, if anything, maybe that, or maybe get heavier into welding and fabricating.
Mm-hmm. So now, throughout your drag racing career, what's been your fondest memory you can think of?
I would say there's a couple that would really, really stand out in my mind. Would be when I first met Tom Hoover, who was the original team I worked with back in '98. When I first met him, it was actually at a consumer electronics show in Vegas. They had their car on display because it was sponsored by Pioneer Stereo. So I went there and I actually talked to him. I said, "Hey, are you hiring anybody?" Because, you know, I didn't have any contacts. I didn't know who to talk to. I mean, I only knew a handful of people that were actually involved with, you know, nitro racing. And, you know, I talked to Tom Hoover, and that's when I started working on fuel cars. It was back in '98. And fortunately, their shop, they kept the car down in Orange County, so it wasn't too far of a drive for me. And so that's how I started. That was a big memory. Of course, later that year, my birthday, winning our first race on my birthday, so that was pretty special. And getting my licenses, both in the alcohol dense and alcohol funny car.
Now, if people want to see your car run, what's the best way for them to find your schedule?
Well, we always run whatever we can at Bakersfield. So if there's a nitro event, you know, the March meet or the hot rod reunion, we always run Bakersfield. Like I said, our team manager passed away last year, so you know we haven't had the Facebook page updated. So I'm in the process of getting that going, and you know, trying to figure out what we can do to get that updated and keep posts on there. If not, you can, you know, check out on my Facebook page. You know, that I'll try and keep up to date on, you know, when we're planning on running. And like I said, I know we want to go testing before the March meet, so I'll try and keep posts on that.
Sounds good. So, you have any final words for fans listening out there, Ryan? You know, all the people that, you know, follow drag racing, you know, just do what you can to keep this sport alive. You know, keep it flourishing. You know, on all spectrums. You know, from the big show to 1,000 cars to your local bracket races. You know, the interest needs to be there in order for, you know, tracks to stay around, in order for sponsors to be interested in getting involved with cars, you know, marketing partners, and you know, proof positive that, you know, dreams can be caught. So like I said, I was a fat kid in the grandstand just dying to touch one of these cars, and that's all I thought about. That's all I wanted to do was, you know, work on these cars, like, be involved in some way possible. So, you know, you want something, you stick to it, and don't let people tell you can't do it. You know, only you can make that. Right. Well, I want to thank you for your time for doing the interview, Ryan.
Oh no, thank you, Dave. I mean, like I said, I gotta kind of take over and try and fill in, because John Egan, our team manager, did a lot. So I'm gonna do what I can to fill in and, you know, do more on this aspect. I'll make sure I keep working on the car and everything, but I know dealing with marketing and dealing with PR is a huge part of this now. So I'm doing my best to keep that going.
All right. Well, good luck to you on the 2018 racing season.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Yep. You have a good night, Ryan.
All right. You too.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
No more interviews tonight, right? No more interviews tonight. I'm telling you now.